This is the future. San Dimas, California, 2692. A most excellent society based on the philosophy of the two great ones, Bill and Ted, and the music of their band, the Wild Stallions.
Now, a motion picture so grand, so magnificent, and so vast, it spans 7,000 years.
No way! Yes way!
In early 1989, Orion Pictures released a little film that would become as well known and loved as some of that year's huge summer blockbusters. Keanu Reeves and Alex Winter starred as the title roles of Bill and Ted as they went on the most excellent adventure.
They're traveling through time.
How's it going, Royal Ugly Dudes?
Put them in the Iron Maiden.
Excellent!
Execute them.
Bogus.
The movie was written by Ed Solomon and Chris Matheson, who based the movie on a stand-up routine that the two had performed in college. A movie about time-traveling high school teenagers who meet up with famous old dead dudes for their history report. It was gonna be a gamble. Even the film's director was worried, saying he felt the film would either be a huge bomb or a huge hit. The film was completed with an $8.5 million budget and went on to gross a little over $4 million and would help launch the career of Keanu Reeves, a Saturday morning cartoon series, an almost forgotten live-action television series, a line of comic books, a disappointing video game, a brand of Bill and Ted cereal, a sequel, and even a third sequel a little over 30 years later. Most critics hated the film, but the audience fell in love with Bill and Ted.
Bill and Ted's
Excellent! Excellent!
Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure!
I'm Bill S. Preston Esquire, and I'm Ted Theodore Logan in concert!
And I make them play.
At the time of the release, there were no plans for a toy line, as it was felt that the movie's target audience was older teens and young adults who had moved on from buying toys. However, with the success of the movie on home video, the cartoon series, and plans for a sequel already in the works, Orion Pictures reached out to Kenner for a line of action figures based on the film. The plan was to release figures based on the first film, with the second series focusing more on the sequel and releasing it during the promotion of the film. Sadly, Kenner didn't see the numbers they hoped for with the Bill and Ted line. Kenner entered the toy line before going into production on the second series of toys. The action figures were made up of 7 action figures, one of which did come from the upcoming sequel. The figures were able to jam on their instruments when you squeezed their legs together. The action figures in the line were Bill with guitar, Ted with guitar, Abraham Lincoln, or as the package says, Abe Lincoln, came with a keyboard and a removable hat to show his Wild Stallion haircut. Billy the Kid with a guitar, Genghis Khan came with drums, and an action figure based on George Carlin's Rufus came with keyboard. The only figure from the sequel film was the Grim Reaper, who came with a skull-shaped guitar. A box set was also released that came with a Bill and Ted figure dressed in tuxedos. This box set came out very late in the line, when most retailers were already clearancing out their stock of Bill and Ted action figures. This made the box set at the time hard to find. Also released was a stage amp with a Wild Stallion cassette tape. With a little hole in the back of the figure, you could plug it into the amp, squeeze the leg to make it play music. The only playset release was the phone booth. Though it did very little, it was a great and needed accessory for any Bill and Ted fan out there. On the back of the card was a photo of Napoleon, however the line was canceled before he got released. There were plans for more accessories, such as vehicles, and even a playset. For more on the unreleased Bill and Ted toys from this line, check out my video on that. I'll place a link to that at the end of this video and in the description below. Overall, this line of action figures is a great line. Not only do they look nice, they have play value for even the youngest Bill and Ted fan. If the line was given more time to grow, I think this would have been one of the best action figure movie lines of the 90s. Sadly, due to the short release time before the line was canceled, we have yet another failed movie action figure line.
Party on, dudes!
Want to thank you for watching. As always, please subscribe to my channel, thumb up so I know you like my content, and we'll talk again soon.
Party on, dudes!
Thank you, sir, for that unsolicited testimony.